Prime today.
Oh, yeah. What makes you
Think that I care about what you think about me.
You didn't make me, so you can't break me.
You can't kill me, because I'm still me.
Something like that. Yeah.
You didn't build me, that's right.
Yeah, you didn't build me. You didn't build me. Because we coming.
Yeah, we coming.
Matter of fact, we here. Welcome to As a Man Readeth. My name is Trey.
And I'm Goolsby. Prime today.
Oh, yeah. What makes you
think that I care about what you think about me.
You didn't make me, so you can't break me.
You can't kill me, because I'm still me.
Something like that. Yeah.
You didn't build me, that's right.
Yeah, you didn't build me. You didn't build me. Because we coming.
Yeah, we
coming. Matter of fact, we here.
All
right. So we're still reading The 50th Law by Robert Greene and 50 Cent.
Yeah, 50 Cent. Kind of represented a little bit. I, had a little chain thing going, Prime. I felt like it all went to black and gold.
It's got some weight on it.
Yeah, man. It's straight from Amazon.
Yeah. For sure.
Hey, it's full.
I'm glad you don't wear it on your neck, because that thing will be right.
Yeah, I got it all around.
Yeah, it ain't touching nobody.
Right. Well, on that, segueing from Prime, who is the leader of the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go to chapter 6. Lead from the front.
Got to lead from the front.
Authority.
Yeah.
And I'll just read what they start off with, and then we just going to run into it.
Okay.
So in any group, and I'll give you more of the Prime, in any group, the person on the consciously or unconsciously sets the tone. Or on top, consciously or unconsciously sets the tone. Oh, yeah, he'd be in them thumbs out of him. If leaders are fearful, hesitant to take any risks, or overly concerned for their ego and reputation, then this invariably filters its way through the entire group and makes effective action impossible.
I love you, Prime, by the way.
I appreciate that, brother. It ain't me, it's coming from him. Complaining and haranguing, I think I said that right, people to work harder has a counterproductive effect.
Yeah.
You must adopt the opposite style. Imbue your troops with the proper spirit through your actions, not your words. They see you working harder than anyone. Well, no, I'm sorry. They see you working harder than anyone, holding yourself to the highest standards, taking risks with confidence, and making tough decisions. This inspires and binds the group together. In these democratic times, you must practice what you preach. Amen? Amen. All right. So he talks about the authority.
Yeah.
And going into this chapter, I want to say this is the chapter when Curtis, aka 50 Cent, somebody wanted to take him out on the streets, right? Because an old dude who I think the guy's name was Nitty, got out of jail, I think, and
not Nitty Beat.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be. You good there. What happened? Yeah, killed Wayne. That's right. So I want to give you. So pretty much the premise is this: 50's working his block.
Yep.
You got another guy on the corner, Nitty, who wants to take over the whole block.
Sure.
So he's trying to get rid of 5th.
Yep.
But he ain't gonna do it himself because he had just got out of jail. He can't go back to jail. He needs somebody else to do it.
He do.
So he tried to get this young cat named Wayne to come get 5th.
Yep.
So 5th is in a situation. So do I do something to the guy who's coming at me, right? Or do I go
get nitty?
So the young cat, what's the young cat name? Was it Nitty? Is Nitty the young cat or Wayne the young cat?
I thought it was.
Let's make sure we right on that. If instead he went after Nitty and killed him,
the police would catch Curtis and would end up in prison for a long time, and equally result fortunate result for Wayne.
Right. So Wayne is the other.
He's the big dog.
He's the big dog,
okay.
And Nitty was the guy, the hitman, if you will.
The shooter.
Right.
You ain't been around the hood in a long time. You done forgot all terminology and everything.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all good. So this what happened when you got the good life.
Yeah. I ain't back in that no more. New stuff. The shooter?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, is that what I did? Oh, which we'll get into chapter 7 when you got to know your connections inside and out. You got to keep your ear to the street, right?
I get it.
So now, Nitty wanted to come after 5th. And so when Fifth got word of that, Fifth saw Nitty, and now he had a choice. Do I kill him, which now puts heat on Fifth, or do I let him go, which now makes Fifth probably look like a punk, I guess, in that sense. So what Fifth did was he put a scar on his face to basically say, look, don't mess with me. This is what happens when you mess with me. And it's a warning shot out to Wayne, like, this, I see what you're doing, and I'm not going to let it go down.
Yeah.
So what happened was Nitty went back to Wayne like, dog, let's get him. And Wayne was like, yeah, no, he's trying to figure out any way so he doesn't do it, which makes him lose respect, which makes Nitty lose respect for Wayne and seeing that he ain't about that life.
Wayne still insisted that the kid did it alone. You know, now Nitty could see through the game that he was just a patsy for the dirty work. Wayne was not as tough as he made himself out to be. Nitty would be nothing more. Would have nothing more to do with him, but he was also too afraid to take on Curtis by himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, with that is Nitty took it. He took it on the chin. You know, I know now I'm not messing with Wayne. And I ain't gonna mess with Fifth, but I understand who Fifth is now, because Fifth could have did much worse to him, but he chose not to.
And he still got the scar on his face, folks.
Yep, supposedly. And so now the neighborhood done found out about the whole thing, and it makes Fifth look good, and it makes Wayne look like ugh, because he's not gonna go out here and do the work. Boom. So going into So this is the great thing about this book. So what they do is they take you into the life of what, and so we're not going to go through every single thing. That's what I realized about this thing, because they wrote it well. Oh, Robert wrote it well. What happens is we're going to get a little bit of what happened in the streets with Fifth.
Yeah.
Then we're going to learn about his rap, what happened in his rap life.
Yep.
And then we learn like things throughout history that Fifth kind of pulled from without even realizing it. And then we learn the qualities in which to use based on what he's been through.
Yep.
So this chapter was about authority.
Yep.
And so they give you the different types of leaders that you can be that's necessary. So specifically it says, to master the art of leadership, you must see yourself as playing certain parts that will impress your disciples and make them more likely to follow you with the necessary enthusiasm. And here are 4 main roles you must learn to perform. So you got the visionary, you got the unifier, you got the role model, and the bold knight. And so what we could do...
Where'd you find yourself being? You want to go through them and then
I like that idea. Yeah, let's kind of talk about what each one
sure.
represents. Let's start with the visionary. So they give us Thomas Edward Alva Edison. Edison... his whole idea was his method. I'm gonna read what they said. His method was simple. He scoured the globe looking at all the latest advances in science and technology. And so with his understanding of business and the latest social trends, he thought long and hard about how some of these advances could be translated into products with great commercial appeal that could transform how people live. Electricity lighting up cities, improved telephones, altering the course of commerce, motion picture, all that. So he had a vision of what he wanted to do. He's the same guy who says, you do something 10,000 times. It's about failure.
Yeah. I didn't fail 10,000 times or something like that.
Yeah.
I found 10,000 ways on not how to make the light bulb.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was never taken off course. So that's your visionary.
Yeah. That goes back to a previous episode where we talked about it's not about failure.
Right.
It's about learning.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
Just check one of the episodes. We don't remember which one it was.
Then they give it the unifier.
Yep.
And the unifier, they give us an example of Louis the 14th.
14th.
Yeah, Louis the 14th. And so his kingdom was fractured, and he brought folks back together. And so what he did was he built a particular place in the city where all the lords of each of the not neighboring towns, but of the country to come stay there, right? To keep his enemies close, because if they're farther away, they could conspire against him. So those who chose not to come would be like, it's hard for them. It's almost like Game of Thrones for real. Like Stark had to come to I forget the name of Westeros,
Yeah.
where he later on died, but his strength was in his North Kingdom. But what the king did was he brought everybody in, so now he could have them closer and have that conversation.
For sure.
That's the unifier.
Role model.
The role model. That's Napoleon. And they said, man, this guy right here, he's known as one of the greatest generals of all time.
Sure.
And he gave his generals autonomy to kind of run their ship the way they ran it. But he also led from the front.
For sure.
And they said that added like 40,000 more men to the battle, within the battle, like the spirit of them.
Yeah.
Because
you want to, if you know somebody's in battle with you, you know, and not sending people to battle.
Right.
That's the different thing. So we have, especially like modern warfare now, you know, the generals are not on the battlefield at all.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
You ain't ever seen them out there. The president, or, you know, what we would consider the king, if it was a different place, ain't out there like it. They ain't doing that.
Right.
So they send people. And so, you know, I think it's just something we don't forget, we learn so much about modeling. I think that's the other part about this too. So I always kind of get fascinated about role models and the bold knights, but keep going.
Right. So there you go with that. Then you have, like you said, bold knights, and your bold knights are your risk takers. It's very on the role model side of things, though. I mean, I think the big distinction between the role model and the bold knight to me is just the risk that it takes, like being advantageous, and not sitting on one's laurels just because now they used to take, they were the role. Well, no, I'm not going to go into that, but
there's a good line in here that reminds me about why it's necessary to be a bold knight, or just kind of remember when we talked about, some of my mentors used to say, you know, anytime you find yourself on the side of the majority, you just need to pause for a moment. There's a quote in here that says, the larger the group, the more conservative it will tend to become, and the greater this force, the greater this force of inertia. And so I think that is something to keep in mind. And like, you know, when people, you get a massive group of folks, they start thinking the same way, change is going to be different. Like it's going to be difficult sometimes to get in that space. Right. So like making bold things, especially when they're comfortable. I mean, why are we moving? Why are we doing other things? Like this just seems to be cool. Why we got to go out here and do stuff? Right. But that's the only way it's going to push us through to the next place.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and that's the different types of leadership roles. And they said authority, I'll just give you this, comes from the Latin root autor, meaning author, a person who creates something new. This could be a work of art, a new way of operating in the world, or new values. So just keep that in mind when you go out into the world, and you are your own leader in a sense. Yeah. So I would go through, like you asked, like what type of leader do you think you are versus versus what type of leader that I think I am. I think I'm more on the role model bold knight, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Because I'll do the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for my work, I have to be bold knight and role model. So, and it's kind of like also, you know, we have children, right? And I just expressed this at a training not too long ago. I said it's very difficult for us to tell people tell my sons to pursue their dreams. Wow. If we're not pursuing ours.
True that.
Right? Just like, you know, you could do anything. Well, then why you didn't do it?
Right. Why you driving? Why we live in this? Okay.
No, why you just didn't do it? Whatever it is.
Right.
You know, it's not even like, why didn't you do it? Well, you know, your mama and I. Right. You know, it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. If that's not the reason, it's like you got to keep that in mind. So I think that's why that's important. I think my children learn more from me. And I remember they were here in the office. Did I ever seen that video where Jeremiah was just in here mimicking like
he was playing you.
Yeah, I think I was like, dang, I didn't know he did that. Wow. I didn't know he was paying attention like that.
Right. They absorb.
But he's definitely absorbing. So we learn so much by how we model and how we model boldness. I think that's I think that's why I think our children are gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, hey, daddy did it.
Daddy did it. Right. And we come from the generation of, do as you're told, not as I do.
Oh yeah.
And so I want to upend that notion
For sure.
anyway.
Yeah.
So it's tough being, trans dad, but it's fun too.
Yep.
But at all of our points where we butt heads, that's when it's like, why? Like, we finally got it here. And I have to say, every time she challenges me, which is often, which means I have to continually grow. I can't stay stagnant because this girl will not settle.
You do have to continuously grow.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to, okay, let me figure it out. And so I'm figuring it out. And so that's why I got to be the bold knight.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, and then that takes us to boom. So know your environment from the inside out. Connection. Just like Trey was just saying, like there were certain terms I wasn't saying due to me not being in that position, which ain't necessarily all the way true. Everybody always kind of want to have like I'm from the streets, but not from the streets type thing.
Yeah.
Like my cousin ain't watching this, and he already know, like, Aunt, you ain't good. But I will come to his space, but I will be me.
Yeah.
I'm not acting like something I am not.
Right.
This ain't a real chain. I've already told y'all. So
It's
don't
not?
try to come.
Oh man. Yeah, I
heard that. Try to trick nobody.
You heard him?
Yeah,
Man,
man.
you don't get.
Man. See. All right. Here, I'll give y'all like the opening for each chapter. So
Let's do it.
no, matter of fact, how about you read this one?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of brush up on it.
Sure. Most. Chapter 7.
Yeah.
Come on, get it together.
All right, let's do it.
3, 2. Most people think first off, hey man, come on, you gotta see. This is what happens when we're in a scene together. Just you can't laugh.
Oh, okay.
If you laugh, then I'm laughing.
Oh, okay.
So hold.
I got you.
See that he's good. Now he's good. Most people think first of what they think.
All right.
They find the audience for their idea.
Mm-hmm.
You must work the opposite angle. Thinking first of the public, you need to keep your.
Well, if you don't read it, what's going on, Trey?
I don't know. Listen.
Right,
do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of people's criticism. Without such feedback, your work will be too personal and delusional. You must maintain a close relationship to your environment as possible. Getting an inside feel for what is happening around you. Why I just didn't read the last sentence?
I don't know.
Never lose touch with your base.
Yeah, you just went there if you want it. Boom. And we was having a conversation before. He made it through. But I'm not gonna lie to him and say he did a good job. Why would I do that?
That was terrible. Yeah,
I don't know what that was. Hot garbage.
It was garbage. Yeah, it was
say.
It was trash. It was trash.
It's all right though. It's all right because we can move forward.
Yes.
And understand, well, why is that happening? So basically, let's go back when Curtis was coming up through the drug game, right? Mm-hmm. At one particular time, well, even before that, let me just say, there are various actors in the game. So you got your rival hustlers, had your big time dealers, and the police. Everybody could be tricky. And you also had the drug users.
Yep.
And so Curtis didn't too much care about the drug users like that. They get the product, whatever.
They customers.
Cool. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But at one point, the fiends stopped coming to him.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell?
What's going on?
Yeah.
You're in the company, all of a sudden ain't nobody coming to get the fries. What's happening?
Right.
You're at McDonald's.
And so I don't know, they don't say if it takes a month for him to make his money, a week or 2 weeks, whatever. But for me, I just imagine him with a lot of drugs. And so he's on the corner from dawn till dusk.
Yeah.
You know what the book say? And so, the fiends ain't coming to pick up the product.
He ain't doing nothing.
But somehow he had made it after I'll guess a month. I don't know how long it took, but he had just made his ends meet, is what he was saying. And so he ends up hollering at his boy Dre, who's an old school who had been in the game for a while.
For sure.
And so he was like, hey man, he was like, man, what's going on? And Dre was like, man, you need to, have you someone who, and he used a particular word. What was the word he used? I want to use the word, a tester. Bottom of 179. He used a tester. He was like, man, have somebody to test the stuff out so you can start figuring out, what they like, what they don't like.
Curtis had influences.
Yeah.
He had influencer deals out here.
Right.
That's what he was doing. He was out here giving he had product testers.
Product testers.
To go out there and tell people, hey, you know what? This is good.
Right. And they've got deals. They like deals. 2-for-1 deals.
You know what I'm saying? You bring them back, I give you 10% off every time. Use code
50.
50 fiend.
Yeah, you get that 50%.
And you get that 10% off. Yeah.
Yeah. And this time around, I think what I want to do is, so that's in his drug life. Now in the rap life, what was happening was he had got on with, is this the Interscope one or the Columbia one? Hold on, let me just double check. He had got on with, this is the Interscope one. And so while with Interscope, he started to understand the business of the game.
For sure.
Because he had a hit album, and then after that, things started kind of dwindling a little bit. And he was trying to, the internet had just kind of started getting hot.
Because they were still doing his marketing and all that stuff.
Right.
Then, right? Yeah.
They weren't doing a good job.
No.
He actually got online and had a conversation. He had played something. They was like, that's weak. It's like, and the game had played something at that moment, like around the same time. And they was like, well, this game thing hitting. He listened to the game album, was like, well, the song was like, they right. They right. So let's figure out a way to get hot again. So he's attempting to stay connected to the streets.
Yep.
Let me see. He did something. So he started checking 182 in my book. So what he started to do was he started to having back and forth, a back and forth. I know it's a cough, but he was doing a back and forth with his audience, trying to figure out what they like. He would drop some things early so they could hear it, and he would either keep it or release it based on feedback.
Yeah.
So
said the public is never wrong. When people don't respond to what you do, they're telling you something loud and clear. You're just not listening.
Right. So I'm wearing my Prime outfit. Hopefully this will be like on the what do you call the thing on YouTube where the clip. So it'll have my gold chain. We'll see if I could draw a particular crowd in.
Right, let's see what happens.
With the faux gold. So there it is. So we're talking about connection, right? Hold on. I like how they say this. There are 4 strategies you can use to bring yourself closer to this ideal. What is that ideal that we're talking about? This deep level of interaction is the source. Wait, let me go. You're seeking what you're seeking is maximum interaction, allowing you to get a feel for people from the inside.
Yeah.
And not from your friends who are either hyping you or dogging you, but from people who don't even know you. They just there for the art, for the work.
Feedback is always.
I would say good feedback. No, I won't say good feedback.
I would just say feedback. Feedback is just something that you can use.
Yeah, it is. Period. Regardless, now that I'm thinking about it. Even if it's BS, you can be like, oh, that was BS.
That's good to know.
Right.
That they give BS. No problem.
Right.
It's good to know.
Oh boy, know which friends to talk to about your relationship or whatever that thing is. Like, oh yeah, I won't bring that up again too.
I just be talking to the mirror.
That's good too.
Talk to the mirror.
Yeah, that kind of works.
Talk to her.
Right.
Hey.
That's interesting. That's good. That's good. But most friends, you know what I've realized too? Most friends, I got good friends because they won't really look at her. If I say something, it'll be like, so you need to, they ask me questions.
Oh, yes.
About me.
Yes, sir.
We gonna kind of stay away from that because y'all might be great tomorrow and then you're gonna be looking at me like.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't gonna make me mad at Kareem.
Right.
So I'm gonna be like,
right.
Let me see.
Right.
I'm gonna be chill until you tell me to be mad.
Right. Like, no, man.
Right now, y'all got something. Let's figure it out.
Right.
And then because one of the other parts of that is that we can only control what we can control.
That's true.
And we can't control the other person. And we
Period.
can try to manipulate the other person. People do that all the time.
Oof. That is not a good long-term strategy.
Not a good long-term strategy at all. So what we can do is only respond to what we can respond to based upon controlling in the control sphere we have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say JC name because he said Kareem name.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm gonna be looking out,
Hey, listen.
for JC.
Hey, man, that's my baby right there.
I know. I'm so proud of it. Anyway,
let's keep going.
yeah. So there are 4 strategies to bring yourself closer to that ideal. Crush all distance is 1. Open informal channels of criticism and feedback. There's 2. 3. Reconnect with your base. That's a good one. And create the social mirror. So let's talk about crush all distance. They use, let's see. Oh, they use this example. I don't know how to say this guy's name, and I don't want to butcher it so bad, but it's a French artist. First name was Henry de Toulouse-Lautrec, I believe. And he was kind of like his legs stopped growing at a particular age, so he kind of looked like a dwarf.
Yeah.
And so he just jumped in, and he came from a high-class family, but he jumped into the world of the arts. And he's the one who painted that Moulin Rouge picture with the woman at the time with her leg all the way up and you can kind of see her undies or whatever, which was very provocative back in those days. I said undies. See, I know old school term, undies. Just had the Mondays on. And so, but he lived with these artists and all these eclectic and eccentric people.
Yeah.
And just, there was no separation.
Yeah.
He forget the distance.
Yeah.
I'm in it. I live it.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of artists like that in today's time where you like, bro, you gon' like some of the hip hop artists that still live the life that they in, and you need to get out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't prefer to be in that lifestyle.
I think so. The quibble with this section is also like get in there, understand, still keep in contact, but also like establish a boundary so that and it also depends upon where you are.
Right.
That I think also as business owners, right? I think your customers are also going to evolve.
Correct.
All right. I know we're talking about 50.
Okay.
Let's hit Jay.
Okay.
Right?
Let's go.
We can follow Jay's music.
Yep.
And it's growing up.
He's wrong.
And it's like, hey man, we want the old Jay. Then go listen to the old albums. Right? He said that.
Yeah.
But the idea is like he's growing up. He don't do the same things.
He don't.
That's one of my favorite tracks. I think it was on Blueprint. 1 or 2. When we off that, it was with Drake.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was like, we off that, man. We don't even talk about that no more. Go on and do something else. But I think that is key. So I think you can still keep in contact with your audience, but you also got to know where your audience is evolving as well.
Correct.
As you're moving through, because sometimes, and then there's other people that are like, no, we want the old.
Right.
That means they haven't evolved, but that's going to be a minority of your audience. Because
I would hope that would be the case.
Well, hopefully so. Yeah. They growing up.
You grow. Yeah, Outkast is a perfect example. Drake. That's why 3 Stacks is like, I don't know where else. Like I don't. He's figuring it out. He said he'll come out with an album when he 80. It'll come.
I got good word that it's. I got good word.
I got good.
What's the day? Whatever the
26. It's today the 26th.
23
of 10.
2023.
10, 26, 23.
Look out for 24.
I hope so.
No. Listen.
Okay.
I got good words.
Who the hell you know?
I got good words. That is scope that Drake dropping an album.
I can't wait.
That he in studio right now at the house.
Look, it's gonna go multi-platinum. He's like an artist, man.
You know who told us though, right?
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike said.
But then Killer, he came back.
He had to.
You ain't
gonna be like, hey, everybody, hey, bro.
Shout out to Killer Mike.
They in the group chat.
Right, I got you. Right. Hey man, I didn't tell you to say nothing. Yeah. And
I'm tripping. I was tripping. I was high.
Right.
No, fam. You knew what you was saying.
Right.
You be high on a lot of your interviews. You be very coherent.
Very cool. Killer Mike is one of the most underrated. I put him up against any rapper battling.
Oh man, yeah.
Cause he's saying something.
Oh yeah.
Every verse he's saying.
Yes.
Shout out Killer Mike.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we'll get you on the show one of these days. I know you read. Anyway, open informal channels of criticism and feedback.
Yes, sir.
And they talk about during this time, Eleanor Roosevelt, who was the first lady back in 1933, came in with her husband FDR.
Yep.
And she didn't want him to lose connection to the people.
See.
And so she started to create a way for the people to contact her, and then she would be in the ear of the president.
That's good.
That's what I really enjoyed, Eleanor. So
Yeah.
you want to do that, just like 50 did when he started to talk back with the audience.
For sure.
Then you want to reconnect with your base. Which one was this? Oh, this was Malcolm X. Because they say success creates distance, right?
Yep.
Because as you elevate, we were just literally almost talking about it with Jay.
For sure.
There are certain things you just are not a part of anymore. But that doesn't mean that your audience moves as fast as you move.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
You know, and it can make you a pariah to some degree. They don't go into that part, but that's just my thing where, oh, you think you better than, oh, you don't come back because. And some things are true to that. It's like, yeah, no, this fake, and I can't wear this in certain areas. This fake. I'm telling y'all it's fake. And you can't wear it in certain areas because certain people might feel a particular way. I can't say you can't. It just may not be wise.
We wear it on the east side. We roasted you. Still, that's wonderful. It'll be a good time. It'll be a good barbecue.
Yeah, but it go with the shirt. Anyway, so you got to reconnect with your base, and it was talking about Malcolm X.
Yeah.
As he moved up through the Nation of Islam,
Yep.
he still kept to his roots with the people because he had been in the streets for so long.
For sure.
Detroit Red, I think, was his name.
Yeah.
Then you have to create the social mirror.
Yep.
Where I'm trying to think of what. Okay, so that was more of an example. They didn't.
Well, it
give
says
us a
when your work does not communicate with others, consider it your own fault. You did not make your ideas clear enough, and you fail to connect with the audience emotionally.
Boom.
That's always key.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So you want to be able to flip it so you can see it. They see it as an object. They see it as it is. Through their criticisms, you can get closer to this objective version and gradually improve what you do. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. A really intelligent man feels what other men only know.
Yeah.
I agree with what this means. I don't like the wording, is what I realize. Because to me, when you know something, you know it. So you feel it, you know it. I think in this definition for me is what other men only think they know. That's what, because when you know, let's say this. If I knew something, let me give you an example. Oh, what's a good example of knowing? I know the TV is there. I don't think it's there.
Yeah.
I know.
You don't have to believe that the TV is there.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no faith involved in that.
Yeah.
It's just a knowing versus the feeling. When they say a really intelligent man feels, and I think that's the combination of your mental and your emotional faculties.
Yeah.
So it gives you a more 360-degree view of something versus no. The no that he's saying is that. No, it's not that. But for me, it would be that. Okay. So it's just a matter of wording for me. But I did understand what he means.
Now, question.
Okay. Ooh, let's go.
Since you're there, that means there has to be some particular presuppositions and some standard pre-knowing or pre-truths that you would have to believe for everything else, like this TV being here.
Okay.
You don't have to believe that it's there. You said you know it's here.
Yeah.
That is because you believe that you're in reality right now.
Correct. Versus knowing that I'm in reality. Is that what you're saying?
How do you know?
Yeah. How do you know? Right. So how do you know? And it's based on
based upon what you believe first.
What you believe.
That you start to concretize into actual knowledge, and then you operate as such.
I like that.
It's kind of interesting. Everything starts off with a belief. You have to believe that. You have to believe it until it becomes a knowing. To it establishes a base of knowing, then everything else can under that one truth. Because belief is nothing.
That's almost not fair. But go ahead.
It's almost not fair.
Yeah.
But belief is all about you consider what you consider true or false.
Right.
Not necessarily right or wrong. That comes to the value standpoint.
Right.
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 And the judgment standpoint. But the belief tells us like real, fake, well, true or false.
True or false.
Right. Which can connect to real or fake.
True.
Just something to throw. I don't know why I did that. I just
I like it. Yeah, I like the question because now that would take us into another book I'm reading right now is The Science of Getting Rich.
Yeah.
So, which talks about there is a. You say what?
I don't know why I heard that.
What did you hear?
Young Dro.
What? Which young Joe? What? Was it a particular?
These grand hustle mob is kings of getting rich. That's what I heard. I don't know why I heard that in my head.
That is though.
Yeah.
Hey, but so you can get rich too, is what I'm saying. There's
Ryan Dion. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that soon. We finish.
Yeah. Hey, Trim, throw that in there real quick. I like that. She gonna be like, Dad, where I find it? All right. There's a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich, of being rich.
Good.
The Science of Getting Rich, I think. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how that all kind of just goes into, if it goes into the next thing I'm saying, that'll be so. Respect the process, master it.
Let's do it.
Boom. Do I want to read the whole thing here? Okay, so respect the process, mastery. So the fools in life want things fast and easy.
Yep.
Money, success, attention. Boredom is their great enemy and fear.
Yep.
Whatever they manage to get slips through their hands as fast as it comes in. You, on the other hand, want to outlast your rivals. You are building the foundation for something that can continue to expand. To make this happen, you will have to serve an apprenticeship. You must learn early on to endure the hours of practice and drudgery, knowing that in the end, all of that time will translate into a higher pleasure, mastery of a craft and of yourself. Your goal is to reach the ultimate skill level and intuitive feel for what must come next.
This is so good because I was thinking about some conversations I had yesterday about mastery, and about, it really became like, it was a conversation around being an expert. And I was like, yeah, I have some thoughts about it. Don't necessarily think of myself an expert.
Interesting.
I believe that I have expertise.
Okay. Why you, yes.
You want me to do it? All right,
Yeah,
so
I want
this
you
is
to.
the reason why. Well, let's jump in. I'll say this. So, because I've been thinking about sometimes when we get in a place where we start to identify with something that we have.
Okay, see, because you think. Okay, all right.
So anytime we start thinking about something that we have, and we start to identify with the thing that we have, we probably get in a place where we're getting stuck.
And it limits you.
Right.
It's limitation.
You start limiting yourself.
Right.
So, something that we possess, that we have, or that even that we know, when we identifying that way, no, I have an expertise. I'm always a learner, though.
Yeah.
So I'm continuing to build upon my expertise, but I don't consider myself an expert. So that was the debate that I had. I was like, I don't think about that, because if I think of myself as an expert, then that means I have to go into situations knowing that I have to be right.
I don't know if that's true.
Or believe that I have to be right, because if I'm the SME, I'm the subject matter expert for this particular situation.
Right.
Then my words has weight, which means
they do.
I need to be pretty right in most cases.
Okay.
Now, the challenge with that is it may limit you to wanting to learn in the situation in that same context. But I don't think you. I think when you're it's kind of like when we're in trainings, like you've been in class,
right?
I've been in class, and we know that sometimes people go into learning environments, and when you teach it, people will come in and with their haughty ideas of how it's supposed to be,
right,
because that's how they think,
right.
But they're in a learning environment,
right.
So you're going into it trying to be right, and you need to go in, which is wanting to learn,
right, emptying the cup,
with something and getting filled with something new,
right.
But most folks will already come in with the full cup, and they want to teach you, or they want to hold on to what they have, which it doesn't allow them to expand in any particular.
You can't do both.
Can't do both.
That's what I've learned. Like when I'm learning the science of getting rich right now.
Yeah.
So as I'm learning it, and that's what I'll say too, when we're reading these books, right? My goal is to give you some of the information off of the book. And then if I disagree with something, I'll just throw out the disagreement. Like when he said earlier on, your rivals, I'm not worried about my rivals. If I get what they mean by this, because there are truly people out there who might come after you because they're trying to get something.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But my biggest hurdle is me.
Yeah.
I'm my biggest rival if I'm looking at it. So when I hear it doesn't, I don't say I disagree. However, if there's something that I truly disagree with, I'll say it. But I'm gonna say what he said first, because this is what the book is saying.
See.
And then we'll come back and say, well, and like you say with your quibbles, he'll have a quibble with something.
Always.
And then throw it out there. So I love that. That word is hilarious. Me and Trent say that now. Quibble.
Yeah, right on.
What's your quibble? Anyway, so 50's mom died at a very young age. I think he was 7 or 8. She died when she was 23. She had him at 15. So he's around 7 years of age when she passed. And he really didn't have anybody looking over. He lived with his grandparents. But he used to imagine him having like the fast cars, the beautiful women, the house, the extravagant lifestyle. And he had this vision in his mind of what he wanted to get. And throughout the years, he eventually, that's the vision he would keep as he was hustling on the street. So although he might have been, he was never necessarily bored, because in this chapter, what happens is he talks about his friend who he was hustling with, but the dude got bored, man, and started robbing folks during the summertime.
Yeah.
And eventually
had a second job. He picked up a shift.
Woo, and it killed him.
It's a different type of Uber.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right, bro.
Which tells you get too many. Well, I won't say if you got too many stokes to fire, that's not a good thing. But if you got too many,
pick the right gig economy. Gig for your economy.
There we go.
That's what we gotta say.
Right. But he took a higher risk for a lower reward.
Yeah.
And he paid for it with his life. He also had another friend that made a lot of money, and so he jumped into buying a franchise, but he didn't do the correct research behind it to make sure that it would last. And so it turned out like folks thought it was a money laundering spot, so folks stayed away from it. I ain't trying to go over there. It's almost like in my mind, if I bought a place on Candler Road right now, and I'm not checking if it's having any urban development going on. I'm not on the right side of the tracks per se, because they're gentrifying certain areas. But if I go right there over Candler and McAfee, it probably is not my best idea. And I love y'all over there. I'm just telling you.
Well, they about to flip that mall.
Which one?
They about to build
South DeKalb?
South DeKalb. They about to put apartments like on like in the air on the ground.
Well, they need to make. Well, I haven't seen the plans like I saw for Chamblee and Brookhaven, which is now. Whoop, whoop, you got a whole studio in Doraville right there in the Ford plant right there, and that's not far from where I live now. So, what I'm saying is, do the research.
Yeah.
Old boy didn't do the research.
For sure.
And then it, like Chris Rock said, grand opening, grand closing. You know what I'm saying? So, and he said, so the gist of the problem. To be a successful hustler, you had to accustom yourself to the slow, grinding pace of the job.
Yeah, and he says that he took the idea of hustling. He thought about it as a job.
Yes.
Got up, went to work.
Yep.
Sold to work.
Right.
Came home.
Yep.
Took a lunch break.
Yep.
Had a different type of insurance.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yep. So same. So let's take it to his rap career. So while at Columbia Records, he said he decided to treat Columbia Records as a university. His one chance to educate himself in the business, he would record his music at night and spend the entire day at the Columbia offices talking shop to people in every division. Gradually taught himself more and more about marketing and distribution and the nuts and bolts of the business. He studied all the aspects of production and went into making a hit what went into making a hit song. And he practiced music over and over again. But once his assassination attempt happened, as they call it,
Yeah.
in 2000.
That's
In
right,
2000,
Yeah.
they dropped him
Yep.
like a bad habit, like a turd. Let him go. Bad gas, all that. Just, but he had educated himself. Yeah. But he had educated himself in the game. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So as that turd went down the toilet and through the no, I'm saying that's a bad one. I was about to try to.
I didn't know you were going. I was like, man, he gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I was gonna try to stay with the metaphor.
No need. No need. We have passed that.
Literally.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys, whoever they are. The principal means of distraction are all forms of public entertainment, drugs, and alcohol and social activities. They wear off. This is so true.
Yep.
So you have to, going back to that vision, and this chapter is, which one is this one? I know we just said mastery.
Yeah.
So we're all putting it all together.
Yeah.
Right? And I wanted to go into, hold on, educate yourself and develop the proper skills. While in these places of boredom, if you educate yourself and find the things, even if they're not interesting yet, you got to learn them. You learn them about your business, because we're all, like me as an actor doing what I'm doing, I have to learn how to speak. I have to learn how to write, read, and I'm talking about on exceptional levels, because I'll be asked questions. I want to respond when I'm working on particular movies, press junkets. I have to be ready, so when the time comes, I do comedy, I do improvisation.
Yep.
Everything is working to be a good communicator is what I'm realizing.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So he says your pleasure comes in mastering the process itself.
True.
We must wake up and realize that real power and success can come only through mastering a process, which in turn depends on foundation of discipline that we are constantly keeping sharp. And that's what technically we're doing now. We like reading books, and the more and more we do this, the better and better we'll get at communicating it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea of mastery overall is, well, self-mastery overall is key. I think that just moves you from, in a number of different ways. One, you know what to do when situations arise. You know how you are able to and even should respond to situations.
You know, I just realized.
What's that?
What is that?
Yeah.
All right, let me take you out. Drink.
Mastery.
Right. Right. There are 5 principal strategies for developing
That's
the
right.
proper relationship to process.
Yeah.
Progress through trial and error. What? We are learning as we go. I know that. Master something simple.
Yep.
Internalize the rules of the game. Oh, man. Attune yourself to the details.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. One more.
It's 5. Sorry. Thank you. See, tune yourself to the details and rediscover your natural persistence. Woo! Okay, so let's go through.
Where I was going with this was that mastery also allows us for great resilience. Self mastery allows us to understand what our competencies are, right? And competencies always kind of allow for great courage later on, because you can reflect back on, like, oh, I got this ability. I know I've done this before.
Right.
This is always talk about like Dion. Dion can talk the way he talked because he done
did the work.
He done did the work, and he been doing it.
Yeah.
So when you have mastered something, or you have that means it'll yield great confidence for you. And so when it comes down to you being more persistent, attune yourself to the details. You know the environment, you know the space.
Right.
Internalizing the rules of the game. You know the process.
Yep.
You know the process. You also know the obstacles when it comes down to that may hinder the process.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then also, I think that, like what said, the progress through trial and error. Like, you already know those obstacles gonna come. If this, then that, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it like that.
Wow. So you kind of ran through each one in one fell swoop. Which
that's what I mean. That's the way when I think about mastery, it's like, oh man, I love the way they structured this.
Yeah, it was perfect. I think I just would leave with that, for those, maybe I'll throw some. So in the book, they did a progress through trial and error with Jack Johnson. Said he had, because they used to have rounds. They used to have like 100 rounds back in the day. Whoever died first, apparently.
Yeah, they didn't care.
So, but he learned how to fight through those odds. But he fought all different types of people, so he could learn how to fight them through trial and error. Mastering something simple. They were talking about this guy. His name is it's Greek. Demosthenes. He's a great political figure in Athens, but he had a stutter, impediment. So he used to, man, they go through the Rocky in this thing, man. Like he put pebbles in his mouth, walking on the beach, saying words, like learning how to speak correctly, getting his thoughts together. And he learned how to master it, became one of the best speakers ever. And he also had that vision in his mind of what that looked like.
Yeah.
Internalized rule of the game, Thurgood Marshall. He had an opportunity to go to Harvard Law School or do his own practice. Did his own practice, learning the game of, instead of going to school and figuring it out in school, because school is behind the world to me. It's teaching older, let me say, the universities, right? What, you about to fight? What you about?
No, keep going.
The universities are teaching outdated methods.
Yeah.
And so when you get into the world, it's like, what is this? And you have to relearn something brand new. You're wasting time. So might as well get him into the system now, figure it out. Right? That was internalizing. He learned what the game was. Boy, it seemed like you got some words. Then attuning yourself to the details. Oh, Michelangelo. Yeah. Michelangelo, the Italian painter. What he started to do was he began to copy his favorite masterworks down with a smallish brush stroke. He would go in and he started dissecting human corpses.
Yeah.
just to break down like the fineness of the muscles and nerves and stuff like that.
They were talking about, there's one piece that he did where there's a muscle that only can be shown when the pinky moves. And in one of the sculptures, he has it done where it's literally because the pinky is touching the other part of the hand. Mm-hmm. It shows that little part of the, I was like, geez, Louise, that's detail. Like he was really dope.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And then rediscover your natural persistence. And this is when they talked about like kids, man. Kids, when they try to learn how to walk, for example, they have a tenacity and a persistence to walking. And I don't know if they go through in here, but it's very, like, kids are very single-minded. Like once they're doing this one thing, we kind of have to get back to learning how to be single-minded.
Kids are really, they start off physically fragile,
right?
But mentally anti-fragile.
Wow. Yeah.
They're like, can't they hurt me?
Right.
Boop, boop, boop. They don't even aware of it. And we have to let them know as they grow, and we all grow. When we grow, they're like, hey,
you're
a little bit more fragile.
Right.
You know, that has to be taught to them, you know, in certain ways. So it's interesting.
Now, which would then beg me to say, well, what comes first? The thought, or because the child makes it, although they don't know, like around hard objects and things of that nature, they kind of just, and they're more limber too.
Right.
And as you grow, you harden, but is it because you're growing that you harden, or because of what people are telling you harden?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some of that is you start to realize what pain is. Oh, okay, that's what this feels like. That's one thing.
Like that.
The other part is, hey, if you don't want to feel pain, then don't do this thing.
Right.
The challenge with that was that we may not have the brain, we may not have the understanding at that time that pain is also connected to growth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, you see what I mean? Like, so depending on how you were raised and depending on the words that were used and the language that was used, when we talked about painful moments, that could be creating, it creates the mental maps that we use as we move through life.
Okay. Well, it ends in this chapter, and we're gonna close it out because we've been talking for a while now. But he ends saying, try to look at boredom from the opposite perspective.
as a call for you to slow yourself down, to stop searching for endless distractions.
Yeah.
This might mean forcing yourself to spend time alone, overcoming that childish inability to sit still.
Yeah.
I said, golly. And I love that. Friedrich Nietzsche
Yep.
said this. Now, there are ... individuals who would rather perish than work without taking pleasure in their work. They are choosy ... and have no use for ample rewards if the work is not itself the reward of rewards ... They do not fear boredom as much as work without pleasure ... semicolon. Indeed, they need a lot of boredom if their work is to succeed. For ... all inventive spirits, boredom is that disagreeable lull of the soul that precedes a happy voyage and cheerful winds.
It's good.
Yeah. So we're almost done. We got 2 more chapters. One is push beyond your belief, your limits, which is self-belief.
Yep.
And
Confront your mortality.
And confront your mortality.
Yep.
And I think that was that sublime. Is
Yeah.
that, or is that the actual?
That's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sublime. Yeah.
Yeah, the sublime. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do one more on this. I don't know if I had this on, but I kind of felt inspired today. So I'm Goolsby,
And this is Trey D.
and this is As a Man Readeth.
Peace.
Cue the music. Oh yeah. Let's all go together.